Today's gonna be the day that they're gonna throw back you. By now you should somehow realize what I gotta do. I do believe anybody feels the way I do about you now.
Backleys our these on the street as a fire and your heart is out. I'm sure you had it all before, but never really had a doubt. I don't believe what anybody feels the way I do about you now.
Arigato gozaimasu. Welcome to Rambo Para Radio. I am your host, Jen T. And no, I am not racist. Twitter or Instagram at GenT523. But nobody cares. It's all about YouTube. Gen T TV. Let's go. Oh, friends. What a week. What a week, man. Bomba Clark. What a week, man. Man, just since I last talked to y'all, I had gathered the following totals for June, and we had 3 people who have either quit or have been fired. Oh, man. Okay, well, one of them was a long time coming. She was just unhappy and got a really good job at the hospital and is making $34 an hour. I'm like, girl, hire me. $34 an hour. And then if she works nights, she gets more money. She gets overtime, nights and weekends. Come on. Good for her. She got a family to take care of. And, you know, my work ain't gonna cut it. So, anyhow, the other one, damn, I mean, he got a job with his homie, so I hope that works out. But, you know, sometimes when you work for your friends, it doesn't always work out the best. But I hope it works out for him. And then most importantly, we had just hired this brother. And he refused to abide by the dress code. He's like, it's hot. I don't want to wear pants. It's hot. Best of luck to those individuals, and more are coming. Yes, as school is winding down for some, that means they will be turning in their 2 weeks notice. And I'm so excited for these individuals because what the hell? They are miserable. They are unhappy. And, you know, it's trying something new is going to make them happy. So I celebrate that. And speaking of trying something new, today we're going to try something new. Like for starters, the show intro was Japanese Oasis. Instead of hearing Rambo per radio, now you could hear Today's gonna be the day Antamadeo Charlie Brownson. We get something new, you understand. We gotta change it up. Plus, you know, after the week that I had last week, shout out to the homie Sean. He shared with me something really insightful, and I've kind of been low-key sharing it with some friends. One of them was finding peace in any situation. Find peace in any situation, 10 Buddhist teaching for inner stability on YouTube. And then also, I caught up with the Sean Ryan show, and he had Sadhguru on, who is like the Otomo TikToker, Instagram guru guy who's just like blew up. I mean, just like blew up because he wasn't just like sugarcoating anything. He kind of just tells you like it is. And a lot of people were drawn to that, gravitate to that, and respond to that. So he's like the guy. So I share that with him. And then, of course, the most important things. Some quotes here. In life, what it is that matters to me. The question is the key. That question is the key. It is barely taught or being asked. Sadhguru. And then, of course, find peace in any situation. Set yourself in paradise at once. The RZA, the Jizza, Inspector Deck. I love these. You know, I've got them saved on my phone. And I love that there is a little chart here that says what you love, and then your passion, your mission. And then if you go to the right, what the world needs, a mission and vocation. And then what you can be paid for, profession, vocation. And then what you are good at, profession and passion. So I loved how those interlinked with each other. As much as I'd like not to acknowledge it. You know, a lot of times Uncle Joey Diaz, Uncle Coco Joey Diaz, comedian Joey Diaz, he made an interesting point. And in order to acknowledge the light or praise the light, then you must acknowledge that evil exists, that the darkness exists, because those two go hand in hand. And I was like, whoa. Growing up, I've always just been like, the light. Yeah, darkness is there, but the light. I've always focused on the light. And then I realized, like, just recently, I'm like, yo, if I believe in the light, then I have to believe in the darkness too. And I'm like, oh shit, brother darkness. But my point is that, you know, I'm trying to believe in positivity and see the positive side of the things and not be so negative. But I also have to acknowledge that negativity is everywhere and it exists. And there's nothing that I can do about it. I can only control myself and my response to the negativity or the positivity. And we just have to keep moving. And I wanted to play this other clip because this is important. All right, so I'm going to play a clip from this young gentleman who's talking about how, you know, how sometimes people just love misery and they don't, you know, they're a prisoner of their own mind. And so, you know, after last week, just getting up and doing what I needed to do, and it was wearing me out, and I couldn't take it. And you know, like I said, financially I'm ruined, but you know, spiritually I'm still here. So, you know, I just keep going on until I can't anymore, you know, and but I always, you know, try and fight the good fight as best I can and keep pushing forward, because that's really the only thing I know. I can't stop. I have to keep pushing forward. And so this gentleman made an interesting point, and I would like to play that for you. Here we go.
But please hear me. Most people don't actually want help. They want permission to keep rehearsing the misery of their existence. And if you give me 15 seconds, I'm going to explain why. Pain can become familiar enough to feel like protection. Stress can become consistent enough to feel like identity. Chaos can become predictable enough to feel safer than peace. And at some point, the body can start defending the same misery the soul is begging to escape. And that is why some people do not just think about their problems, they rehearse them. They replay the betrayal. They revisit the failure. They argue with people who are not even in the room. They predict pain before it happens so they can feel prepared when it arrives. And every time they do that, the body produces the same chemistry: cortisol, adrenaline, urgency, defensiveness, and even emotional intensity. After enough repetition, misery becomes a chemical routine. And it's not because people love suffering, but because their nervous system recognizes it as something it knows how to survive. So when peace shows up, peace does not feel peaceful. Peace feels suspicious. Silence can feel unsafe. Stability can feel boring. Help feels threatening. And advice feels like an attack because healing would require them to stop protecting the prison they have mistaken for home. This is why you can give someone the answer and watch them argue for their limitation. You can show them the door and watch them defend the cage. You can hand them a solution and watch them turn into another reason to suffer. Because some people are not looking for freedom yet. They're looking for better language to justify the misery they have not become willing to release. And I say this with compassion, because a lot of people have done it. I myself have done it. We said we wanted peace, but kept feeding the thoughts that produced the war. We said we wanted healing, but kept rehearsing the story that kept us wounded. We wanted change. We tell people we want change. We tell ourselves we want change, but we keep protecting the version of ourselves that only knew how to survive.
Man, you know, when I heard that, I said, man, this explains so many things to me that, you know, that's going on with me. And I'm thinking, okay, you know, I have to get up. I have to keep going. I have to do this. I have to do that. And, you know, even though in a joking way I said it was suffering, but, you know, it's just things that we have to do in order to you know, participate in society, you know, paying bills and, you know, going to jury duty or, sitting in the mechanic's office, you know, waiting for your car to be fixed, or just, you know, going to the dentist and you know you can't afford it, you know. But I've always sort of thought, okay, you know, this just is what it is, and just get through it and move on. Protect your peace. And I experienced a situation this week where it was a confrontation between somebody that I care about and this person lately has just been so negative, and I don't want to assume that they're being negative, but just the verbiage they're using, how to describe things in their situation. And I just go, ugh, my heart, like it crushes my heart, because I'm just like, you know, things could be so much worse. Things could be worse where you are not alive, or, you know, or something terrible happens to you. And the things that were being expressed were just so trivial. And I just thought, man, if this person that I cared about possessed the ability to just stop and really analyze what they were saying and all of the things that they were expressing their grief about or complaining about or their disapproval about. It was such a simple answer, and I didn't want to be, you know, a dick. I was trying to respect their expression, but my answer was just like, overall, it's just like, hey, you don't have to do this. You really don't have to do this. This person was talking about going here, doing this, you know, traveling and working. And I was just like, you don't have to engage with this person at work. Like, you know that you can just go to work and do your job. It's nice to have friends at work. It's nice to be chatty at work. But at the end of the day, like, you don't have to fight with your coworker. You know that you have the right to be like, hey, you know what? Let's just agree to disagree and get back to work and not work with him. I do that all the time. I have a coworker who made some racist remarks. Is he a racist? I don't know. Will I stick around to find out? I don't care. I only speak to this person if he speaks to me. Otherwise, I don't say anything. I literally don't say anything. I cannot speak to this man in good faith because of the racist language he's used in the past, and which makes me upset. And I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to lose my job. And also, just his overall general attitude is complete and utter dog shit. And it's always this weird paranoia, like people are out to get him, or people want to fight with him, or this, that, and the other. And it's the furthest thing from the truth. So I see this person at my work, and like I said, I only speak to this person unless they speak to me, or that I have a question regarding a customer, right? So because I just don't want that in my life, I've made peace with the situation. Like, hey, this dude is in a position where he's hurting so bad that he would say this racist remark and think it's okay. This person is hurting so bad, struggling emotionally so bad, because I know he got money. He's got money. He don't need to be there. That's how much money he got. This person is emotionally struggling so bad that they lack the ability to be helpful to their other coworkers around and or help customers, unless it suits them, that they just don't want to be helpful at all. And it makes it harder for other people working where I work, having to pick up the slack for him. And I don't appreciate that. I don't like it. So I just keep that away from my life. So when somebody I love and care about in my personal life is like just being overly negative and just miserable, and I just was like, I'm listening to them talk, but I was just like, why are you creating this prison for yourself? Like, you do realize that anytime you want to get off the ride, anytime you want to leave this air quotes jail or hell that you're explaining to me, you can absolutely put a stop to it. So I was just like, hey, you realize that, you don't have to speak to that coworker. Just do what you need to do to get it done and move on. You don't have to be buddy with that coworker. You guys just need to do your job and communicate with this person the least amount as possible. Because, it's affecting your life. To the point where we can't really have conversations because it's just so negative about what's going on at work or what's going on in their home. And I'm just like, wow. Despite everything that's happened to me, I'm just like, man, I feel bad. I feel guilty that I have a more positive outlook than this person I care about does. And I'm trying to think of ways to like help them get out of this funk and not be so negative. And I can't. I can't. It's just like beyond my pay grade. I'm just like, wow, this person, no judgment. This person really needs therapy. They really need an impartial person to talk to, because the verbiage they're using, what they're saying, and what they're upset about is such a grain of salt compared to the things that are important right now. And I guess, it's cool to vent and stuff, but I think it crosses a line where the venting is just constantly venting and no change, no willingness to change the situation. And I'm like, I gotta go. I'm so sorry. Oh, I feel guilty. Because, I have to cut this person off at some point, because I'm just like, I've got stuff I've got to do. I've got to take care of things. And also, I'm just trying to work on protecting my peace and being happy. I'm trying to enjoy the little moments of sunshine before it rains again. Rains on me like T-Mobile gonna raise my phone bill, gas bill, gasoline's going up, electricity. Just all of these things is happening. And I'm trying my best to push forward, and despite all that, and be like, you know what? Despite this storm or storms that are in my life, I've got a pretty sweet life. I'm doing okay. It's pretty decent here. Things could be way worse, okay? When I say way worse, I think of the little girl who was in the horror movie The Ring. If you remember the little girl who pulled the hair in the front and was like, she just recently died the other day. And the reason why I bring this up is because, she went from being somebody famous to getting large sums of money for The Ring and other various TV shows and squandering it all away and becoming broke. And I don't know if there was any mental illness going on, but she became broke and was living in a van with her boyfriend. And, when every now and then when they would just get so desperate for either a shower or some food, they would go back to the boyfriend's house, and the mother would let them shower and sleep in the house, because they were living on the streets. And so eventually, I can't remember if I saw that there was drugs involved, but she died from complications of HIV. So, but my point is like, this lady was like 30 some years old, the cute little girl from The Ring and doing something with Disney and all kinds of stuff, to now you're living in a van on the street, using drugs, robbing people, selling your body. This is bad. This is really bad. I'm not there. So because I know that I'm not there, or you're listening, you're not there. Whatever's going on with you, you're not there for the most part. I could say, without knowing who's listening, just by speaking to you through this radio, that things are okay. Things are all right. You're doing pretty good. Like I said, you could be living on the street. You could be, drug addicted, sex working, even though there's nothing wrong with sex work. But if you're doing it to sell your body to use drugs, I think that's bad. Or, you live in Ghana and people get by with $400 a year. Like $400 a year takes care of a single person in Ghana. Okay. So can you imagine what life is like there? And they are the happiest they can be. Okay. If you take a camera and go to Ghana right now, there's smiling faces. People are cooking in the street. People are playing soccer. I mean, it's just, they have nothing. So the little bit that they do have, they celebrate that. The little moments of joy that they have before, some psychotic, crazy man from the jungle comes out trying to murder them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they enjoying their time. So I'm just like, on the scheme of things, that everything that happened to me, I was like, we Gucci. We Gucci, okay? I just think, man, things could be so much worse. And that's taken a long time for me to switch that reasoning in my brain. Like, before, maybe 10, 15 years ago, I'd be like, oh, this is terrible. Things are just terrible. I'm unlucky. This fucking sucks. Whoop-de fucking whoop. Now I'm just like, okay, it is what it is. Let's just get through it. Let's get this done and move on to the next problem or situation. Because, I'm battle tested. I've been there. I've been down this road. I've been to the depths of just terribleness, mentally wise. But, I've persevered. I've come back. I've come back stronger. I'm not going to say there aren't days where I'm just like, whew, shit hits me like a ton of bricks. But I like that we have the ability to choose to be happy. It doesn't last forever. So to me, the choice is easy. Choose happiness. Enjoy the moments of pleasure and laughter and fun, because those moments are fleeting. And before you know it, you're going to be in some shit. You're going to be locked up in some drama. Somebody's going to be flipping you off on the road or cutting you off. I guess why I'm having this podcast go the way that I'm going. A couple days ago, I was at a stoplight. And I know y'all gonna get mad at me, but I was watching the World Cup on my phone because, I'm addicted to sports. What do you want me to do? Okay. Obviously, I'm driving. I should not be watching TV while I'm driving, but it was, clipped. It was clipped up. Okay. So I would drive and glance, and then it doesn't help that my GPS is telling me the score too, that my car knows I'm addicted to sports. Okay. So anyhow, I come up to it's a busier intersection in town. And this particular intersection is like a bridge. It goes up and over the freeway. And then I was sitting on the arm ramp. I had come to a stop, and the game was on, and something happened. I got excited. They had scored a goal. I got excited, and I'm screaming, "Golazo!" And you're just all excited. And then I'm texting my friends who are watching the game, because I'm on my way to the gym. And so, because I can't just sit there and watch the game. I got to go to the gym. I got to stay busy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't just sit there and watch a game. Just things to do, right? So, in the excitement of texting and yelling, I dropped my phone. I dropped my phone on the floor on the passenger side. And so I know you're not supposed to be messing with the phone while you're driving. I get it. Tisk tisk. But just to be so that it was near me if something happened, I reached down to get the phone, and then proceeded to text somebody. And then as I'm putting the phone down on the seat, I look up and I see the light is green. It's been green for a little bit. And then I just hit send and put the phone back in the seat. So by now we're talking a good 2 to 5 seconds of a solid green. I promise you, a solid green. I saw it. I was looking at the light and putting the phone down and hitting send. By the time my phone left my hand and hit the seat, and I was about to hit the gas, a Tesla driving, I don't know, 60, 70 miles an hour, going so fast, they launched through the intersection like it was Dukes of Hazzard. And it was my turn to go. This is at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. There's nobody around. We got time, baby. We got time. So I just went, wow. My life kind of flashed before my eyes, because if I would have not been messing with my phone, watching the game or doing whatever, that light would have turned green and I would have hit the gas, because that's what I do. I got my little go-kart car and I'd be stepping on the gas, And I was like, oh, I like a quick start off the line. But for some reason I noticed that the car next to me was sitting there, and the car behind him, the guy was honking at him to go, and he didn't go. And that's probably because he could see further down the bridge that this psycho, this absolute Momo in a Tesla Y, the little egg car, is flying through the intersection, completely runs the light, has no remorse, shoots through the intersection, and then comes to a complete stop because the next light was a red light. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, man. What is wrong with you? If you were in that much of a hurry, you should have left earlier. This person could have killed me. I'm telling you, that's how fast this car was going. It launched through the intersection like Dukes of motherfucking Hazzard. I'm not joking. I saw the tires leave the ground and I go, this motherfucker would have hit me and probably killed me. Because the height, my car is low, but the height and where this guy would have landed, he would have landed on top of me, passenger side, either T-boned me or crushed the passenger side of my car. I couldn't believe that. I was just like, is this guy high? What's going on? Where's the fire, bro? And also, if you drive like this, maybe you shouldn't drive. I don't know. It just doesn't seem safe. It doesn't seem like you're following the rules. Now, listen, there have been a time. I get a little Speedy Gonzales in my car. But anytime, for the most part, I try to dial that shit back, because you just never know. I see all the time when I'm driving in the morning, going to work or going to the gym, people get a blowout you want to test how good of a driver you are? Get a blowout at 85 miles an hour. See how well you can control your car on 3 wheels. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't care if you're Mario fucking Andretti. You ain't controlling that car. You're going to lose control of that car. You're going to be praying that you can keep control of that car and you don't hurt somebody or hurt yourself. So a part of me was like, now that I'm not dead, I'm going to fuck this motherfucker up. I wanted to beat the dog shit out of this guy because you already know. I mean, there's just a standard, typical Tesla driver, typical Tesla driver that's like, drinks Soylent Green because they don't have time to eat food and, they work in computers or software or coding. Something preposterous. They cannot bench press anything over 80 pounds. I'm just expecting a frail male to get out of the car or a some sort of frail lady to get out of the car. Somebody who does not lift weights or no combat is in this car. I'm just imagining this. And then I was just like, I had to tell myself, don't follow this person. Just go to the gym like you're supposed to do. Everybody's waiting for you to open the gate so they can train too. Please, I had to tell myself, please do not road rage this guy right now. You don't know what's going on. You don't know if he's high. You don't know if he has a gun. Clearly has no respect for life because he just nearly killed you going through the intersection. So I had to chant to myself, please do not drive after this guy. I had to remind myself that day was my cousin's bodybuilding show and how I wanted to go see her compete in her bodybuilding show. That I had to go to a tournament and coach. And what good of a coach would I be if I get arrested for assault? That's not a good example. So I said, we got too many things to do. And whatever is going on with that individual, Mother Nature going to take care of that. One way or another, Mother Nature has the best return policy. And it's not up to me. So I had to release it. I had to release the anger. I had to release the vengeance on my mind, the hatred, the ass whooping I wanted to give this guy or gal in that car because I don't understand it. But for some reason, a lot of these Tesla people, when they get in a hurry, they reach dangerous neck-breaking speeds. And I don't trust any of y'all to know what to do when an emergency happens at lightning speed. So I was like, it's best to just get away. Let them pass. Move on. Please go. Please go. Keep going. I pray to God that you don't hit anybody or hurt yourself. And that's it. I had to release it. I had to let it go. The old me would have been like, all right, motherfucker, I got your plate. We going live on IG. And I'm going to pull you out of this fucking car. And beat the dog shit out of you. That was the old me. And I just said, no, we don't do that anymore. We are way past that. We are way past that. Look, it is shocking. It is scary that this person almost could have seriously injured me, if not killed me. And I'm acknowledging that I'm upset about that. But we have to let this go. We have to release this. There's just too many other things happening today for you to get in trouble or go to jail for assault. Or let's say I yoke this guy out of his fucking Tesla or this lady out of her Tesla and I hit her with a fucking punch, or I use too much jujitsu and she falls and cracks her head on the pavement. I'm going to jail for life. I'm going to jail for life. And I am not prepared to do life in prison. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. So I just said, you know what? I am releasing this universe. Do what you need to do with this. I'm going to go to the gym and enjoy myself and enjoy the company of other people. Thank God we did not hit. And then a couple of days later, I saw that video and I went, oh man, that felt good. Knowing that, in the past, I would have these conversations with myself like, I'm angry. I want to beat the dog shit out of this person. I want to teach this person a lesson. And with therapy, it's like, it's not up to you. It's not up to you. And also, it's none of your business. This person clearly needs some help. Something's happening. And they're driving like a maniac. Okay. It's not up to you. You can't control them. All you can do is control your response to this person. So I'm like, do not engage. Do not engage. Stand down, soldier. Oh, man. I really had to protect my peace in that moment because I was like, okay, we're alive. It's time to throw down. And I was like, nope. Don't you turn the corner. Let that man or lady go. It's not up to you. Protect your peace. Okay, we're getting close to the end here. Speaking of protecting our peace, Mr. Dustin Poirer, former UFC champion, Mr. Dustin Poirer was drunk as a skunk and tried to get on an airplane and was denied and then proceeded to fight airline staff and police before finally a bunch of police came to subdue him. I will play you this tape. Let's see if I can find it.
Before I had the paper like, I simply...
Whoa. Let's go, big dog. Let's go, big dog.
What's going on?
What's up? Bunch of Let's go. Let's go.
Relax.
You the line.
Pulled him off the plane.
Yeah, pull me off the plane. All my boys went to the crib. Now what the
And this is why he got
All
pulled
right.
off the plane.
You Dustin Poirer?
Man, you, bro.
All right, just relax.
Man, you and her and her. I'll fight you right now.
No, I don't want to fight, bro.
I'll go with you right now.
Bro, I don't want to fight, bro. I don't want to
Let's
fight.
go.
I don't want to fight.
Let's go.
Radio, have you
Yeah,
step
tell
up.
him. Tell him, come on.
Get a couple of
Because it's going to be bad.
Bro, just
It's
step
going to be
back.
bad.
No, bro.
What's up?
Bro, relax.
You want to fight?
Radio 37.
You want
Radio,
to fight
start
something?
several units.
How you
No,
boys not going to fight something?
Radio
Bro.
37 Sam.
Boy, you
bro, relax,
taste
bro.
You gonna taste
Relax,
going
bro.
to taste me, dog?
Relax,
Bro, I'm going to bang you up.
bro. Relax.
Hey,
Just relax.
give me a good one.
Yeah. They kicked him off the flight. This guy's a UFC. You know.
What's going on, brother? Talk to me.
Man, the lying, man. Let's go. Arrest me. All right, let's go. Let's go. Arrest me. That's the best way, dog. That's the best way. That's pound it.
All right, man.
No, you did a great job, bro. You did a great job. You did what you could.
So many things here. So, first of all, it's Father's Day when this incident happened. So obviously, Mr. Dustin Poirer, former UFC champion, Hall of Famer, legend, has had a couple of drinks on Father's Day. But what I don't understand is that you can become so intoxicated that they are preventing you from getting on the flight. That tells me you are extremely intoxicated. Therefore, they can't have you get on the flight. So right away, he's like, those hoes over there, they won't let me get on the plane with my boys. Like, dog, you a grown-ass man. You know, if you're getting on a plane, you can't show up to the plane drunk. That's just not going to happen. All right. So, you know good and well that you can't get on a plane intoxicated. That just doesn't help the situation. It's just for your safety. If you're drunk and the plane is malfunctioning and they need you to put, your mask on or open the door or jump or do something, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you're too inebriated to do that, then, the plane is liable. The airline is liable. So they don't want to be liable for shenanigans. And it's just kind of a known rule that you can't be shit-faced and get on a plane. Unless you got a private jet, you're not getting on public transport and being shit-faced. So, and then I guess what really annoys me is, yes, I know Dustin is from the South. He's from Louisiana. But I don't take too kindly as his use of the N-word repeatedly. I don't like that. And he's speaking to a black officer and he's using the N-word. And he's scaring the flight attendant people who are also African American. So I'm like, what is going on? And so all of these years, I've always thought, it's been kind of crazy. Like, Dustin has always put on this persona like, hey, I'm a nice guy. Hey, I'm a nice guy. And maybe he is, but I've always been like, something ain't right, Jack. Where there's smoke, there's fire. So, I guess I hate to say it, but a lot of times when people drink, the truth comes out. And so this brother's using a whole bunch of N-words and letting it flow and threatening to beat up, the flight attendants. And then, threatening to fight the cops. And it's like, come on, my guy. Take it easy. If you can't get on the plane with your friends because you were drunk, have a seat at the airport, sober up, and get another flight. Your ass can afford it. Based on the statement there, he is saying that he's had some difficulties with his life since he has stopped fighting. And okay, I could totally understand that. Hey, brother, pick up jujitsu. I'm just saying. Teach. Open your own gym. You got hot sauce money. Open a gym and teach kids. Teach people martial arts. It is rewarding. You don't want to do that? Hire somebody to do it. I'm just saying. Do something that brings some sort of joy to your life other than alcohol. Because, as joyous as alcohol can be, after a while, it gets dark, man. And it's not a good look. I mean, I've been around some people that's just been stupid drunk, kind of like how Dustin was. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And like I said, when you're drinking and you say things, the truth is coming out. The real you is coming out. And I just think, all right, this is what we can do, brother. You made a mistake. People make mistakes all the time. Let's try and work on not drinking so much where we can't get on a plane. Let's start there. Number 2, maybe let's cut back on the use of the N-word. I don't believe that you're black. I don't believe it's a good idea to speak to black people at the airport who work there and use the N-word. I don't believe it's a good idea to use the N-word at all. There we go. And I think if he is having trouble with life after fighting, I think we need to do a little bit better with some soul searching. And one of them is not the bottle. What else we got here? Oh, man, this is another thing that I'm not liking the vibes. I want to watch it, but I don't like what's going on. But there is a lot of aggressiveness going on right now against Kaitlyn Clark in the WNBA. I'm not sure if this was a memo that was passed around to the ladies because, this has been 30 years of the WNBA, and of course, hardly anybody watches, right? But pretty much, there were a couple of moments where we had our Lisa Leslie's, our Dana Taurasi's, our Sue Birds. We had a couple of ladies, Candace Parker. We had some ladies, right? But then it kind of fizzled out. People wasn't watching. Now we've got a new group of girls that have been in the league for like a year or two. And, Kaitlyn Clark, has just lit the league on fire. The girl can shoot from anywhere. And she's cocky, yes. But as a player, wouldn't you want to elevate your game to try and catch up to Kaitlyn or beat her at her own game? Instead, these girls are poking her in the eye, punching her in the throat. I'm just seeing slapping, punching, kicking, stomping. It's getting crazy. And so my soon-to-be ex-wife, Sophie Cunningham, who's every bit of 6'7", has come in to protect Kaitlyn Clark. And man, the meme is going viral with her pointing at all of the girls that are roughing her up. And then, she's fighting back. And I'm here for it because how many times are you going to let Kaitlyn get abused like this? She is getting mauled. They just, they calling it sometimes. But then as they're calling the foul, more things are happening. There's throat punching. Eye gouging. It's just getting nasty. I just want to see the girl compete. She can shoot. Let her do her thing. Obviously, you're playing against her. You don't want her to score. Okay. Do the best thing legally to stop her. Stop trying to break the rules and poke this girl in the eye, punch her in the throat, pull her hair, doing crazy stuff. It's just not a good look. I don't want to see that. I'm just like, if I want to see fighting, I'll turn on the UFC. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to watch WNBA, I want people to play and have a good time and keep it competitive, but also relax. You know what I'm saying? It's getting a little out of control. Well, this Saturday we had tournament money on the mat, and I was very disappointed with myself because at the same time the tournament was going, my cousin was competing in her bikini competition and she won, and I'm so excited for her. Shout out to Miss Laura. And so the boys Wetzel, Will, and Kevin and Andy got to compete, looked incredible out there. And I'm really proud of these guys because they are just evolving so fast in the jiu-jitsu game. And they're at such a high level where I'm just like, pretty soon these guys are going to be like world famous. You know what I'm saying? Like Andy, Will, Wetzel, collegiate wrestler. Will wrestled. I don't know if Andy wrestled or not, but just incredible jiu-jitsu. I feel bad for Mr. Wetzel because he didn't win any of his matches. So there are times where, this is every time, unfortunately, but if he doesn't win, he gets really hard on himself. And I'm like, dog, you are extremely talented. What you're experiencing is the ceiling in the jiu-jitsu world. And it's up to you to figure out a way to break through that ceiling. Don't take it personal. This happens to everybody in the game. Nobody is just out the gate the best of the best, okay? When I think about the best, air quotes, or used to be the best, he's used to be to me because, he hasn't competed in a while. And I'm only saying this because that's his livelihood, that's his job, is to compete. And so if you're not going to compete, brother, then, somebody else who competes all the time is going to be the best. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, maybe last year, Brother Gordon Ryan, before he retired, it's just decimating competition, right? But when I found out about Gordon, when I started getting into jiu-jitsu many moons ago, just watching it on TV, he wasn't winning all the time, guys. Gordon Ryan was human. He was losing. He'd win some, he'd lose some. But he had the mindset to be like, hey, this is where I'm messing up. This is what I got to do to be the best. I have to train this way. I have to eat a certain way. I have to do this. I have to keep this certain persona. This is what keeps me unbeatable. And so I feel like for my teammate Wetzel, that I think the first start to getting back in the win column is showing up to class. Getting into some serious dogfights with the teammates. I think having hard rounds with Will or Jared or Nightwolf or Steve or Brandon, somebody. Having those hard rounds, test your skills so that way when you go to compete, it's easy. Practice should be hard. Let me say that again. Practice should be hard. I'm not saying hard like getting hurt, but I'm saying it should be challenging. It should be challenging. And I feel like if you're about it, you should look forward to that challenge, right? You show up. You train hard. So that way, when you go to compete, it's easy. You train harder than this fight will be. So my message to Wetzel, if he hears this or somebody tells him, is that rule number 1, don't be so hard on yourself. Rule number 2, let's start showing up to class. Let's start having those competition-like roles with people who will give you that. Will, Jared, Brandon, Coach Rick. Just these things should be happening on the regular, like I said, so that way you're battle tested. It's not a surprise when you go into competition because you've been in way worse situations. So anyhow, that's my 2 cents on that. Trying to think what else. Went to my cousin's going away party. He lives in Victorville, and he's going to be moving to Texas, Dallas, Texas. And even though I'm sad, he's not going to be here. His family's not going to be here. Texas, by far, I would have to say, is probably going to be the best place for him because Texas, you can actually have a family there, have some land, get a decent job. It's not a failing state like California is, unfortunately. I think Texas is a great start, and you can always come back. Or, you love Texas so much, you stay there, right? So I think even though it's hard to see a family member go, I was just like, hey, it's only a 3-hour plane ride. So I'm like totally down to go see him, The thing that I love most about my cousin is that he loves to make beats. He's a beats guy. Or what's that beat y'all like? No, he don't make no beats like that. He makes good beats, and he samples a lot of old classics. I really respect his game. And, who knows? Going to Texas while he's working and he's doing his beats, he might run into somebody who's like, hey, come to the studio. I want you to meet Pow Wow. You know what I'm saying? Or Slim Thug or Bun B. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? Who knows what opportunity may bring? But, we have to try different things and see what happens. So we've tried California. It is failing now. It's time to move. All right, folks, I am going to end the show. There is no UFC this week. However, the second biggest card of the year will be happening next weekend. Conor McGregor and Max Blessed Holloway. So get yourself all excited for that. We'll talk about that next week. And I think that's going to do it for me, folks. I will talk to y'all next week. But until next time, this is Rambo Burrito. I'm out. Peace.